We've got some big fights on tonight. I know you and your team get on very well with one of these guys, which is Caleb Plant. Shout out to him and Jordan, the father and all the team. Plant's fighting Resendiz tonight.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that fight? And
I haven't seen much of the what's his name?
Resendiz. Mexican, tough.
Well, yeah, Mexican tough, but I haven't seen much of him. But I'm a big fan of Caleb Plant. Yeah. Big fan.
Good boxer, isn't he?
Yeah, just the way he is. And I liked his last fight, how against he fought Trevor McCumbee.
Yeah.
Trevor McCumbee brought something that it sort of shocked him, but then he brought the heat and he brought the action, and he just adjusted, adapted, and stuck to the game plan. And I really enjoyed watching that fight. And I'm a big fan of Caleb.
Now, we haven't bumped into the Charlo brothers yet, Jamal and Jermell. What happens if we bump into them?
Well, look, I'm not the angry guy. He's probably the one that's going to be mouthing off, not me.
Without looking too far forward, if we go back to 2023, and obviously it was hard, but if you go back to when you're 2024, actually, April last year, when you fought, obviously, Fundora, and then we went and did the fight over, and that there was talk about fighting Charlo. Do you think, if you get past Fundora, that, your promoters No Limit, Matt and George Rose, and obviously Louis the Gibbs, that is a fight that we could still do?
I'm 100% in. 100% in. I think there's some unfinished business. I waited for him with his injury, went from back-to-back to opponents, from beating his old previous opponent, Tony Harrison, to then going Campo, Mendoza, still waiting for him, and then he takes in discussions to fight him, and then he takes the fight against Canelo. It was like a stab in the back. I don't know what I wanted to do at the time too.
Yeah.
I was in anger.
Yeah.
Right now the anger's not there, obviously, but I would love to meet him in the ring and settle our differences.
Do you know much about this fight with Jamal and LaManna tonight, or?
I remember they offered me LaManna for my what's it called? Tune-up. They offered me for my last.
Tune-up for when?
For my last fight again after Mutsu Live, they wanted me to tune up to LaManna, and we said no.
At what weight?
Well, whatever weight it was, but we said no.
He's a big guy.
Yeah, whatever. We said no. We said no because he was not suitable. I thought he wasn't at that level.
Yeah.
So there you go. That's Charlo.
Jamal. I know you don't want to look too far forward. There's so many movement in the 54 division. How many more fights do you think you and your team want to do at 54? And I know we spoke before, we're having a coffee and that, like about the IVF and the rehydration.
Yeah.
You've got to go through this weight cut again.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to ask you this, old man, or not, but like, you've got to think about it as a manager as well. You've got to think about it as a fighter.
Yeah.
How many more fights have you got at 54?
When an opportunity comes up at 160 that's worth going for, then I'm going up.
Okay.
Otherwise, right now, the biggest fights right now to be made are at 154, and I'll have to just keep going at it.
Just let all the fans know back home and around the world, how long are you out here for? I know you got in yesterday,
4 days.
We're going to do some stuff with Manny on Monday, but we can't say too much about that. And we have another press conference in Los Angeles. Back home for the camp, do the full camp back at home?
Yeah, I've got some boys flying over. I've got Mick Fox, American fella from over here, Tour Southpaw, and I've got Taj from New Zealand coming over, and I've got a few boys, local boys from Sydney that are helping me out. Again, tall Southpaws. So yeah, I'm doing my prep over in Australia, and I feel comfortable there. I'll come here and 2 weeks out, and I've spoken a lot to Volk, Alex Volkanovski, and he's just told me the little things that he does, and he does all his camps in Australia, and he feels better. Comes in, and he's #1 pound for pound fighter in the UFC.
He's back again, the Volk.
And there's an art towards it. We always think that we have to come here for training camps and all of this stuff, but when you can do it in Australia, when you're comfortable and bring the certain sparring over and pick the right type of work, you can do it all Australia.
You're part of Premier Boxing Champions. We're very passionate about it on this channel. It's a very, very big summer coming up. Manny and obviously Barrios, you, Fundora, but there's another one coming up, Tank Davis and Roach. It's coming up in August. I spoke to Espinoza about that. We're going to release that date. So I know he's one of your favourite fighters. How do you see Tank going in that rematch, and what has he got to do differently to beat Lamont Roach?
Yeah, I think he's a good adapter. I think he needs a little bit of pressure on himself, and I think he was too relaxed. I reckon when he puts a little bit of pressure on himself and says, you know what, I need to put on a show, he'll put on a show. And this fight, he'll put on a show. And I reckon it's going to end in dramatic fashion, as he always does.
You reckon?
Yeah.
When he's pushed up against it?
Yeah, when he's pushed up against the wall and people are doubting him, the true Tank Davis will come out.
Last question. We just spoke to you before about going up to 160. There's a guy named Terence Crawford who fought a lot of his career at 47, 40, went up to 54, fought Jermell. I was there. I thought he was okay that night, but I didn't think he was great. He's now going to go up another 2 divisions, fight at 168 against Canelo Alvarez.
Yeah.
How does he go?
You know what, like, in my opinion, I think Crawford wins due to the fact that what we saw from Canelo in the last couple of fights hasn't been impressive at all. But, honestly, I'm not that interested in it. It's not like...
It's not a reality sort of thing?
No, it's not like man, when I remember when Manny Pacquiao vs Mayweather got announced, I was like over the moon. I was watching everything. I was so pumped. It was just like, yeah, it was just like it was a massive fight.
You never told me he was a big Floyd fan.
Oh, massive Floyd fan.
Really?
Canelo versus Triple G. I remember when that got announced, I was full into it, But Crawford versus Canelo doesn't interest me. But
really? Is this because of this new? Not having to go at some promoters around the world and some Times Square bullshit. Well, I just did, but. It's not real, like it's fantasy boxing, is it?
I don't know, I think the boys are...
The money's taken over?
Probably. I think it's maybe past their prime. Maybe Crawford's, I don't know.
Cashing out and then saying goodbye.
Yeah. Like, honestly, if Canelo fought Benavidez, I'd be... That's it. I'll try to book a ticket,
You see that video we put up today of him on that speed back out quick?
Who, Benavidez? Yeah, he's a beast. I'm a big fan of Benavidez.
Similar styles.
Yeah, I love his style. Just that march forward, bring the action. If you get punched, you get punched. Whatever, it is what it is. That's how it should be.
What are some other the big fights that you'd like to see these days? Like if Manny gets past Barrios, please Manny don't go Floyd Mayweather, let's run it back, number 2.
I wouldn't want to see that. I wouldn't want to see that one.
Do you reckon he might do it though if he beats Barrios?
I wouldn't be surprised. Actually, you know what? I was thinking about it the other day. I think it will happen. Honestly, Mayweather will come out of retirement for sure.
Who wins that, Manny? Sorry, Floyd.
I don't know.
Floyd hadn't fought for a long time.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Who knows that guy? I don't know.
There's big money in it, though, isn't it?
It's big money.
Did it surprise you, though, when you got the phone call about fighting Fundora? And it doesn't matter if it's not the main event or the co-main. It's the way boxing is now. You guys are sharing the car. But when you actually got the phone call from Glenn and the team, like Pacquiao's fighting Barrios on the same card, like how was that? Like I know it was. But you must have been like, what the hell? Manny's coming back?
Yeah, crazy. Because, like, you watch Manny throughout your whole life and to be fighting with him. But to think that he's got the idea of fighting at this age.
At a high level, Barrios ain't no slouch.
Nah, man. And, man, I don't know. It's a heavy fight. It's a hard fight to win for Pacquiao. Because Barrios is a very good fighter.
And he's big, eh?
And he's a big boy.
Strong.
And he's sharp.
Punches down the line.
Yeah. So it's a tough ask.
Last question. When is your brother coming back? And how is his hand?
Peter, I think he's starting to punch. I don't think it's 100% there yet. He's still getting physio, driving up and down to the physio all the time. So I see him here and there at the gym. But hopefully soon. I think he's keen.